Hi, everybody. Jeffrey and I are here right now, and this is sort of a follow up to what we did a week ago, which was when Jeffrey worked with Anne about the pendulum healing, and I put out and I asked people for questions, and I got quite a few questions. So that's what we're going to be basically discussing. Um,
Yay.
did everybody survive the full moon? It was Sunday, and it was a big one. And we're just waiting for people to get on. I started actually 20 seconds early, which I never do. Oh, what can I say? And what else have you got going on, Jeffrey, other than talking to the charmingness of me?
Today,
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Today, I might meet my friend. I might not. I paid my phone bill. I'm going to go shopping.
We live just like people, just like.
Yeah, and then tomorrow, I have my first Zoom meeting with people who purchased Pendulum, like a series of Pendulum or a series of IET.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing like spiritual homework. I'm the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We did vision boards. We're going to show each other our vision boards and manifest our destiny.
Okay, and
I have tools for that too.
if you're interested in contacting Jeffrey about that, you can get him at jeffery@ripecolor.com, or YouTube is jeffrey@ripecolor5496. If you put that in, and you'll find him.
Or
Or
just go to Ripe Color.
just go to Ripe Color on YouTube.
Exactly.
But it's Jeffrey's really building a whole kind of health and wellness community for people, how to get in touch with themselves and how to get to feeling better.
Exactly.
And I've got Thursday, I'm going to do at this time on Thursday, I'm going to do a show on a meditative technique that I just found out about, and I've been doing it for a couple weeks just to see if it's worth you investing your time in. But it's called neurographic, and it was apparently a big topic year or two ago. But it's how you can use your scribbles and start to concentrate on them, and it's a way to meditate without having to sit with your eyes closed, which I hear from people is occasionally a difficult thing to do. I don't know. I tend to meditate when I first don't get up in the morning, so it's a real initiative, an incentive for me to go ahead and do it. But I just found this system and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. And since I've started watercoloring
Is it
again,
like this?
yeah, except that's backwards.
Oh, I did it. I purposely wrote it backwards so it was easy for you to see.
No, my screens rectify you, so everything looks the right way.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
mirror. I don't
Yeah,
mirror.
I when I take Spanish lessons, I want to spell something and I spell it backwards. So it's like that.
Yes, neurographic.
Okay.
And it's like neuro, like the thing in your brain,
Right.
graphic.
Right.
And got comments. Roanna, loved the last interview with you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
And Dozen Cats is here saying hi.
Hi.
I really kind of well, we're getting close. We're getting close to a number where I think we could do. And what we'll do is I have gotten a series of questions and I will go into them. And we're going to, Jeffrey and I discussed this earlier. I'm going to take Jeffrey's contact information off. And it's real basic stuff to me, but then I often find out I think something's really basic and somebody going, what's
Right.
that word? I don't understand. Chakras have colors. Why do chakras have colors?
Why not?
Yeah. That's the other reason. But anyway, we're going to start with the most basic thing. What I tried to do is order the questions like I was going to go through this process and I didn't know anything about it. And you threw out, we're going to do this, and explain it. So this is kind of the best step-by-step explanation we can come up with. And the first question is, how should we prepare for this kind of reading?
Okay, so how you should prepare for a reading is actually, I do them one-on-one, right? So I would do them via Zoom. So as you contact me, I would lead you through a meditation to connect to your own light, to connect to your soul. And you would be connecting to your soul. I would be connecting to my soul. We would both connect to the earth. We would both connect to our angels and guides. And so when you're calling in your angels and guides, and I'm calling in my angels and guides because we're working together, then they connect, and it's like, so you've got, it's like having help for the party. You're having a big party, and now you have a lot of help. You have the caterer, you have the people who are going to clean, you have the people who are going to move the stuff. That's what it is. So I would help you. I would guide you through a meditation that you're clear, and that your higher self comes through, and my higher self comes through, in order to combine and make it really efficient. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And you started it off with a meditation to pull that, right? Okay. And then this
Because
question.
before I do the IET or before I do the pendulum work, I go into a meditation.
Okay.
This is, I think the thing, I was thinking about it this morning. It's like, this is not a parlor game.
No.
This is not a parlor game. This is about, removing things that are in your way and embedding energies that are beneficial for you.
Okay.
What kind of clearings can we have? Okay.
This person said, you mentioned we're clearing of this, and then is there in this question also should be are there given orders that the clearing should have?
There is a given order. So the given order would be, I don't know what offhand. Okay. So first we attune the space. And then we ask, you keep on asking, is this the right time? Is this for the person's benefit, for their highest good, for their highest healing? We move forward. We clear less than light beings. So less than light beings could be energy you picked up, like negative energies, anger, fear, other people's weirdness.
Yeah, the coworker you deserve an award for not stabbing, that kind of thing.
Right. And then you would clear cords.
Okay.
And then you would attune balanced chakras. Then you would clear blocks. Okay. And then you would clear engrams. An engram is very much like a block. And then you would clear, what are they called? Kind of belief systems, basically, programs.
Okay. Okay. So then could you please explain, you led right into this, what are cords?
Okay, a cord. Okay, so a cord can be going into you, or a cord can be coming out of you. So a cord would be an energy that is attached to chakras. It comes out of or goes into a specific chakra, sometimes more than one chakra. It would be, this is an example. This is the only person in the world who loves me. And I have to have, my heart has to be attached to them at all times, in all ways, at all moments. There's something sticky and unhealthy about it. It's this belief that an individual is the only one who can give you what you need. The only one. I really rely on my brother-in-law to do my taxes, and there's no one else in the world who can do my taxes, and he owes me, and I owe him, and it's an unhealthy belief system that either you or somebody else is the only one in the world where the deal is it's your higher self, and God is really the only one. So that's what clearing cords are about. And sometimes people are sending you energy of, wishing malintent, trying to control you, etc. That's what clearing cords is about.
Also, don't you find sometimes you've developed a cord to someone and it was really important and it was an important energy source for both of you, but then
Right.
things have changed. And especially in this time of change when we're
Exactly.
getting rid of energies that don't particularly serve us anymore, it's sometimes it's hard for us to think our way all the way through to cutting that cord by ourselves. So,
Yeah. 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 And, the thing is, before you cut the cord, you ask for, is it for the highest good for all involved?
hmm
Right. And then you allow them to go in peace, right? To find
hmm
love. Because sometimes somebody is very much relying on you. Oh, well, they're the only person who can listen to my problem. They're the only one who can help me with my finances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
okay, and let's see. Okay, we're going into this one sort of goes like, I heard you balance chakras, but if I meditate regularly, shouldn't that be doing it?
Well, the answer is yes and no.
It
The
depends on what
answer
you're doing when you
yes,
meditate.
I'm doing it. But sometimes, it's like, let's say I start exercising, right, at home, and I'm doing something with weights.
hmm
I might not be doing it the right way. Maybe sometimes I need to like check in every so often. It's like, am I good here?
hmm
Did I do this correctly? Am I standing in the right position? Am I using too much weight or too little weight? Am I doing enough reps? It's a little bit like that. Yes, I agree. And you could ask your higher self and see if anything comes up. You know, but I guess it's more like, in a way, it's sort of like going to a professional,
hmm
right? And the way that the chakras are balanced actually is through sound.
hmm
It's through sound. It's through making sounds.
Okay, and
Pleasant sounds,
pleasant.
not sounding like a duck or a or a donkey.
Yeah. And could you please, yeah, it took me a while when I read this question to figure out what they were asking. Finally
Okay,
realized they were asking about engrams.
right.
What?
So an engram is, so you would be clearing blocks. So let's say you have a block in your heart. Like let's say you have a block in your heart that says, um, I'm not lovable or something like that.
hmm
I'm just giving an example. These are all examples. So don't anyone take anything personally. It just came to me, right? An engram would be a block that you've been holding for 3 or 4 lifetimes. So when an engram comes up, it's really a big deal. It's sometimes we carry these things from 3 or 4 or 5 lifetimes, and it's a belief system that's false. It's a belief system that's false. And if you've come up, like when an engram comes up, it means like you're really, really working in this plane, in this life to heal yourself. And healing, means making yourself whole. So to make yourself whole, not only in this life, but in your past lives too, because, there's no time. I, I, I think all our lives exist at the same time. Like we're all living in medieval Europe and ancient Egypt and on Mars in 2080
I'm not living on
simultaneously.
Mars in 2080. I guarantee you, I don't want to be on mine.
I have no desire to move to Mars. Thank
I have
you.
no desire to, and especially because Elon Musk is going to send me there. Um, so I think that kind of explains. I think I can think of examples of what I guess are engrams that I've run into in people. A lot of times when I do past lives, I'll find out they they were forced into a spiritual life in medieval Europe. They were thrown in the nunnery, or it was like become a monk or starve, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. And um, a lot of them found they went in grudgingly at the beginning of the reading, and then they ended up happy at the end. But they've come into this life to get rid of, to understand the broader understanding of spirituality. You'll find a lot of people who are doing that had a period of time when they would have been associated with. I've even had somebody, I kept seeing them in swirls of orange, and I presume they were Buddhist, but they had very, it was so rigid, they had very negative feelings about it in that, from that life. So they come in this life. So the engram would, that spirituality is this broader spectrum, and it can be a part of me and not hurt me
Mm-hmm.
or limit me. Would that work?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great example.
Okay. Do people usually have only one or two issues in each area? And this person commented, when you went through with Anne, she kept feeling like what you cleared was cleared, and then you couldn't feel anything else. Are there people who just have and of course Anne was in a public session, and we had kind of put boundaries around it. So although
Right.
she said she's felt so great about it and has began to see and visualize and understand some of the feelings she got from that.
Wonderful.
So, but do people usually only have one or two issues in each area?
It depends on the case. There's no pat answer for that. There just isn't. Um, I don't really have an answer for that. Um, some people come, show up to clear a lot of stuff at once. Some people just have one or two things. But the thing is about all this spiritual, clearing, this spiritual, road we're all on, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really ever end. There's always a little more to do. It's almost like buying a historic house.
Mm-hmm.
It's like buying a historic house. It's like, okay, well, we fixed all the woodwork and the banisters, and that's good. And now we have to work on the floors, or maybe we have to work on the electric. Like, as you clear more, I mean, it's a constant process because we're constantly growing and evolving. And maybe at the beginning of a certain year, you're ready to let go of a certain thing, and now that you let go of it, you're realizing it's like, well, we cleared this room, but now we have this another whole room that we want to make beautiful. I don't know else to say it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And that's sort of the end of our people questions from outside the chat. So the chat's open, and I already have some things marked that came in
Okay. Thank you.
while we were
I
talking.
know I can't look because it confuses me. I have to be here.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have to be the babysitter of the chat today. Okay. Somebody wants to know, is this like an energy scan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's an energy scan and an energy alignment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That answers Esther's questions in a single sentence. This may be a very short show, folks, unless you start putting stuff in here. Um, is there a difference in the one way he heals with starseed crystal beings and others?
I don't. Um, I deal with angelic energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's angelic energy that I'm dealing with.
Okay. I can kind of help Roanna with that.
Okay.
There's sometimes I feel some of my stones, they're not alive as we understand alive, but they definitely have they have a field around them.
Mhm.
And if you heal that field, and you feel it off the stone and you feel it off yourself, then yes, it's the same kind of energetic exchange. It's just in a different form. I mean, but like Jeffrey said, healing's more like becoming more whole,
Mhm.
becoming more aligned, becoming more a part of. So I know people who work with star seed stuff, and that's what they try to do. That's why star seeds need a little more help sometimes on this side, because their energies are so different than the quote average human. I don't think any of us are average, but I think that's best I can help you with, Royanna, because
I mean, we're all made out of the four same things. So at the end of the day, we're all star seeds. That was simple.
we are all the same. We're all made of the same stuff.
Yeah.
If it all started in the Big Bang, no avoiding that. Okay, get down here, dude.
Thank you, Sharon.
Mm-hmm. And Sharon's put in the chat once again, because she's such a saint, how to pay, how to help us. How to, where you can support us through Venmos or through PayPal's, that kind of stuff. Thank you. We appreciate that. And I get those a little bit every week, and it all helps. And then, okay, yoga. You know about yoga.
Well,
What does yoga do?
yoga will align the chakras. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga will align the chakras. Yeah.
It puts the chakras in a healthier shell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, here's a nice one, Jeffrey. It's Helene's it's her 71st birthday.
God bless.
And what can she do to improve her strength and her energies?
I would ask for help. I would go into a meditative state, connect to your heart, connect your heart, radiate from your heart joy, love, gratitude down to
Mm-hmm.
the earth, receive back from the earth, loop that a few times, go back into your heart, ask for your angels and guides to come through, and, ask, what can I do to gain more strength?
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think we have to trick ourselves. I mean, I think we trick ourselves all the time. And it's really about walking around and saying and believing, whether you believe it or not, you can pretend you believe, I
Mm-hmm.
am strong. I am strong. I am strong. I am healthy. I am strong. I have energy. I am healthy. I am strong. I have energy. And when you see yourself going down another road, it's like, I am not going down that road because I am healthy. I am strong and I have energy. Arr.
Yeah. Just take care. And I'm you're silly.
I hurt myself.
So Jeffrey's going to work on that arm now to get stronger because Helene reminded him he needed to do it. Okay, and then we have another person who's lurking. I'm lurking, but she's a big fan of us.
Thank you, Donna.
So you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide, right? And I'm now to the places I hadn't been before. So, and everybody's saying hi to everybody, and I really like that. I like everybody to share what's going on.
And drink a lot of water.
Yes. And Roanna, thank you for the starseed information. So, and okay. Just had a new granddaughter arrive across the veil Sunday during the snow moon. Well, that's cool. Kids born with full moons are very interesting people to raise. My youngest was born in a full moon. Oops. Okay, and congratulations, Vernie. Oh, someone want to know, could you give us
homework? If you sign up for 3 or more IET or 3 or more pendulum classes, then you get access to the private Zooms, whoever signs up, 3 or 4 people or whatever it is. And then we move forward because I'm trying to build community.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
And the other thing is, if I can give you one assignment, like what I'm going to present on Thursday about neurographic painting, there's steps to it, and so it's just something you can individually try. Same way as if I said I heard this really good meditation, listen to it, or I watched Joe Dispenza talk about healing, go look at it. But all those things kind of just, unless you have the time to kind of put them together and have them make sense, it's just something to try and see. Because what happened is I saw a neurographic drawing, went and looked at it, decided to look at it a little bit more. And so I decided it's worth presenting. But you're going to have to go back and spend some time on YouTube watching the artists who really know about this stuff. And I think that's what we should do, because catching things dribs and drabs can get you very confused. I get things about people who say, someone told me this is a stone I need for the rest of my life. I know enough about crystals to know there's no stone I need for the rest of my life. So Okay, show this one. Sending prayers and hugs to everyone. Thank you, Sharon Sipe. Well, do we have any other meaningful, insightful, or wonderful things we want to share right now? We are taking questions because they're still coming in. They're still popping in. We went over, at the first part of the show, we went over that you need to have your intentions ready when you come in, basically, for a healing, for a crystal healing.
Well, really, be open to allowing.
Mm-hmm.
Be open to allowing.
And then we discussed the definitions of the various.
Receiving.
Right. Because is there a given order to that? Do you do?
It's interesting because basically before you begin the session, we connect this and that, and you clear the space, and you only ask to deal with beings that are attached to the Godhead only.
Mm-hmm.
And the basic questions in both a pendulum session or a IET is, what would you like to receive? And many people are like, I don't want this, I don't want that. It's like, that's not what I asked you. What I asked you is what you do want. Oh, I don't want this. And it's a head. Like the head is like, I'm going to receive something wonderful, right? As opposed to, oh, I don't want this anymore. It's like, that's not, it's about what would I like? It's like going to a restaurant. It's like, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want that. It's like, you think the waiter's going to be really nice to you? It's like, you come in and you say, I want a steak, I want a lobster, I want pasta, I want fish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I don't want bottled water on the table.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to receive? What would you like to change? What would you like to manifest? And then what would you like to release?
Right. Well, that kind of goes back, Jeffrey, to that thing I learned a long time ago when I was first starting to write intentions. The universe doesn't know the word no or not.
Right.
So all it hears is the complete sentence and knock that out. So I used to get a lot of people said, well, what can I do to not find a boyfriend like the last one I had? Well, if you frame the question that way, it's going to tell you how to find exactly what you've already had. What you need to say is, I want something that's new to me. I want something that's going to open me up or engage me or be nice to me, if that was the problem with the old boyfriend. But you need to deal with that. And so that's when I agree. I always say to people, it's like if you go in the ice cream parlor, go in looking for Rocky Road. Don't say, I don't want pistachio and I don't want mint this and I don't like that. Don't, until all you've got left is Rocky Road. Go to the Rocky Road. I mean, it's not that I mean to be mean, but I just don't want to wait.
Well, I have to tell you, a lot of times I go to ice cream isn't my favorite thing, but on occasion I eat ice cream. And if I go to an ice cream store, it always comes down to two. So I usually just get double scoop.
Whatever.
Because that way I don't miss anything. It's like I get a little bit of both.
I know. Okay. And so now we've gotten to how to write intentions, and then the first thing you do is look for blocks.
Say it again.
The first thing you look for is blocks.
No.
Okay. Then I got chords. That was the next one.
The first thing would be less than light beings. Then it's chords. Then it's balancing chakras. Then it's then it's blocks. Then it's engrams, which are like the same block that you've had for a long time. And then it's programs. Programs is pretty interesting. So
that's one that takes a time because
the programs, because I have like a whole list that'll say and then programs, they say yes. I have 3 pages of things to go through. So I like when I'm doing it myself, I don't want to influence myself. So I go, it's page 1, it's on the yes or no. Let's say it's page 2, and then I say, okay, is it on page 2? There are 4 different sections, and each section has 3 or 4 or 5, and I have to go through I say, okay, is it section 2? Yes. Is it the third one down? Yes. It's easier that way for me because otherwise I'm like, yeah, I have that. I have that. I have that. I want to let go of everything. It's like,
Mhm.
it's not like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just so, and at the end, like Anne felt, she said she really felt moved and she couldn't figure out why at a couple times when you were doing stuff. But she told me when I talked to her that night that she was beginning to focus on the fact that having that kind of an emotional feeling about something was with this was sort of new for her,
Mhm.
and that she was beginning to have the images come forward later,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. A lot of this stuff, a lot of times after an IET or a pendulum, people will get information later on because it, takes some time to digest. It
mhm.
takes some time, It's sort of like remembering a meal. It's like, oh yeah.
And this
Um,
is a question. Oh, what you got? What you got, Jeffrey? You have something on your phone?
is there a cat? Yeah, I think there is. I think
It's
there is.
called it's called Carillion Photography, and it starts with a K. And don't ask me to spell the rest of it, but it's called Carillion Photography. And I have a thing that's a chi machine, and it sort of wiggles your body. It's hard to explain, but it moves your body in figure eights, and it loosens everything up, and it really helps you feel better. And I when I was looking at getting one, I had a friend who had one and I loved using hers. But they actually have a picture of someone when they put them on and they kind of had their normal aura, kind of kind of scattered around them. When they put them on the machine and they took pictures of them as they about 5 minutes into being having all of their chakras shaken from one end to the other and having their whole body move in this synchristic way, all of the auras lined up. And I've actually had a Carillion photography done because I knew a lady in Dallas, and this was 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Who
it's
used
been going. I
to,
think they just it developed in the 70s, right?
right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, and here's somebody who says, "I've had it done, and the photo looks funky." Yeah, you don't look like a you. It's tracking your energy, is what it's trying to do. And you can see actually, when they would do it at, it was a chimes and wind chimes and all other kind of stuff. And on the second floor of this old Victorian house was me in my little room, um, reading cards on Sundays. And uh, sometimes when she'd take pictures, she'd say, "Come look at this one." And they actually had holes in their aura. There's a black spot that was not filled in properly. So um, maybe I'll do a show someday on it and find some pictures and explain it. I'm not doing a great job of explaining it because it's not anything I knew what to do with the information when I was seeing it when I was young and seeing it. So,
I want to give you an example of like
mhm,
programs. So, right. So we let's say we find a program that's in place, and what happens is, I mean, I have 3 pages, so it would come under like the general headings of guilt, distrust, shame, threat, heartache, shoulding, I should do this, la, 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 anger, powerlessness, constriction, struggle. So let's say struggle, right? So it's like letting go of feelings of being stuck, right?
mhm,
And then we would imprint, I am not stuck, I am free.
mhm,
I am, because we discovered what chakra it's sitting in, right? Residing in. And then we would pull that out and then we imprint the opposite. So it would be like that. It'd be like that. Or fear of change, right? Oh, I
mhm,
fear change in my heart. And it's like, I welcome change. Change is the nature
mhm.
of the universe. So we would imprint that. It's like that. Like, it's almost like homeopathy, right?
Mhm.
So we imprint the opposite, which
Mhm.
is really powerful, really powerful.
Um, okay, this is true. It wasn't a Russian thing. Carillion photography was a Russian thing. It was developed in Russia. And then What do you do about all the holes and breaks in your auras? You go to Jeffrey.
I have plaster of Paris. I have
Yeah.
spiritual plaster of
Yeah,
Paris.
and he's an artist and he knows all the colors, so he'll get a perfect match. He'll get the colors to match perfect. If it was only that easy. Yeah, the hole in their aura that day could have been that day.
Right.
I mean,
Right. I mean, look, if somebody does something that really hurts your feelings on a specific day, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you. Or not even an individual thing like like this past earthquake. My heart is like really breaking for these people. I mean, it was like almost an 8.
yeah, there's not much left when you're caught up in that. And we should put our hearts and minds to them and to all the places in the world where people's lives are just rudely disrupted every day. Not that that doesn't happen to each of us individually in our lives at certain times, but it's not like you're going to walk out into it day after day after day.
Yeah.
And healing and love to all the people who are in that. Okay, guys, somebody has to come up with a question because I'm about to run out.
I could put my hat on a different way. Does that help? Does it make it
I
look
don't
more?
know. You could I could eat a few more hot dogs and puff up like a Russian balloon, a
I would
Chinese
love a hot dog.
balloon.
I would love a hot dog right now, to tell you the truth.
Do they have hot dogs and don't they have hot dogs in
Yeah,
Mexico?
yeah, they do. But they don't do sauerkraut. They do a lot of stuff. They do raw onion and jalapenos, and usually they put ketchup and mustard on it, which is good.
Mhm.
Sometimes, a lot of times, they like more meat on more meat. So they throw bacon on, they have cheese on. It's like, it's enough with the onions and the jalapenos. Thanks.
Yes, basically a carnivore diet in a bun. Okay. Well, guys, all I can tell you is you know how to find Jeffrey.
And Nancy, thank you so much. And I think this was really helpful. I mean, I think they were like good, well thought out questions.
Yeah. And for those of you who posted things about someone being missing or someone, other things like that. For one, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is my little story, which will make the show actually almost make it to an hour. I was asked by the police department years ago, like in the late 70s, I was working with Crime Watch. I knew a lot of police officers and they knew what I did. And there was a woman missing and and her son, and they wanted to see if I could help them. And so I just very innocently walked in to do a reading on this. And I ended up walking with her into the woods and trying to think of everything I could to describe it to the police. But she knew by that point that they had kidnapped her and her son and they were going to kill them. And they did find their body in a woods outside of Dallas, very close to an area. I think they just found them because a hunter found them, not because of what I said. But all I can tell you is I carried for 6 months the fear and terror, and that the woman covered it up beautifully because she didn't want to scare her son.
Hmm.
And her son was the same age as my oldest son at the time. It was horrifying. So if anybody says, "Oh, let's go look for dead people that aren't like ghostly dead and walking around the house and causing trouble, or just a missing persons things," those scare me so much. And I realize I shouldn't deal from fear. I should deal from openness. But I don't want to ever spend 6 months of my life
Yeah,
feeling.
at the same time, it's like, yeah.
We're people too. We may
Right.
be
Also,
psychic.
it's the same energy as like there are certain neighborhoods here that are like known, and people like, oh, did you go there? I'm like, why? Why would I go there?
Yeah.
Why would I put myself in that? It's like eating something you're going to have an allergic reaction to. Oh, just this one time, and then you break out in hives, had to go to the hospital. It's like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, the more we can put ourselves in a good spot, then the more we can send love and light to people who are in tough spots. And they just are people in tough spots.
Yeah, and I mean, this is our job. If we incarnated on the earth at this point in this plane at this time, our job is to really get in touch with the real joy of being alive. And the more people are joyous on the planet, the more joy there is on the planet. And our
Mm-hmm.
job is to do it individually and radiate that love. That's the job. That's the real work. That's the real work,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, mine is that if I try to find things that I feel can be helpful to people, help them become more whole, like what Jeffrey's healings do, help them get more confident in this planet um, so that they can move forward. And today, a matter of fact, I just had that conversation with a medical doctor because I finally got my genetics test, guys, and I thought it was going to be like this little cute report. It's 36 pages long. And they've got 3 columns on it next to your gene, next to drug types, and it's like, it's okay. You can just take it. You fit within their parameters. Then there's a column that says you probably need to look at certain aspects around the drug. That's the yellow column. And then there's the red column, which is don't ever put this in your mouth because in your genetic system, it's completely poison. And he and I were going over all the things, and he said, well, I knew you had a lot of negative reactions to drugs. So we went through them all, and they're all not things I should have ever been given or taken. And kind of in a way, when we help you identify where you are spiritually, kind of gives you a little map like he gave me today. Don't take this. This isn't good for you. This is, you do better in this environment, you do and stuff. And what's really funny is it also points out things where your body's stronger. And doctors could never figure out, my cholesterol's a little bit high, but then they go through and they look at they do that thing where they look for plaque in your arteries to see if you're going to have a stroke. And I mean, one doctor was shocked. He said, you have like babies have more plaque than you have. And I was like, oh. And it ends up, there's like between 5 to 10% of the world population that they've tested with this stuff has a gene that knocks out plaque. So we just don't get it. So, so when you do a reading for someone, I think about that. I like to help you know the things you do with great ease so you can move on. Okay, we're going to go into doing the test. Where do you do the test? I got mine done. And you can go, if you're on Medicare, this test is free. And I'm going to type it in the comments so that you can find it. You can contact these people and they will be glad to tell you. I have to be careful of the typing because oops, back.com. And the doctor who's your genetic counselor of sorts reads it through for you. And what's the name of the test? And this is a big word, guys. It's pharmacogenomic. And I'm going to spell that one to you because you'd never get that word out of what I do.
This sounds like a real, like a vocabulary, like a spelling bee word.
It's like, good, Eliza, they really find a lot of people and this is for entertainment purposes only. I could die of anything tomorrow, but okay, that's the name of the test. But there's kind of one standard one, and I was just shocked at the specificity of it. And I have a friend who's she's finally trying to deal with her bipolar problems, other than she decides she can't meditate them away, and that's fine. If she can't. But yeah, for entertainment purposes only. They have a screening for people who are going into psych meds, and they really can tell you how, and they explain to me how they can tell from the genetics every medicine that's Oh, hi, Ann Perry. Every medicine that's out on the market basically is run against a bunch of tests that they can pull out the medical markers to specific genes. And it starts with your genome, it starts with your genetic DNA. So
Cool.
instead of telling you what country your ancestors came from, this test tells you where your body doesn't need to go.
Maybe it'll tell you there's a specific flower, right? And then you find out that flower grows in a certain country. It's like, I'm never going to go
Yeah,
there.
no, and no, he was talking to me and he said, well, we have to look at your current meds to see what you're taking. And anybody who watches my channel knows that I take aspirin and I drink a cup of hibiscus tea to control my blood pressure. And he went to the page that on the report that says, this is how you're reacting to your current meds. And he goes, this page is empty. Is that right? And I said, yeah, that's right. I'm not taking anything. And then I told him about the hibiscus tea. He wanted me to spell it for him. So he's just like you guys.
Well, you
And
know what they call hibiscus in Mexico? It's Jamaica, like Jamaica.
oh,
Jamaica.
okay.
Yeah,
That's where
they
they are.
serve it a lot. It's really good.
It's good. It's better chilled, guys. I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And you add a little like lemon, lime or lemon.
Probably some gin wouldn't hurt it.
Well, it's at lunch.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't do that at lunch then. Wait a minute. Okay. And just since we have a little bit of time,
Yeah, it's good. It's Jamaica. So that's Jamaica. It's spelled like Jamaica, but they pronounce it
mhm,
Jamaica. Hibiscus is Jamaica.
okay, this is what I'm going to be talking about on Thursday. Let me get that off the screen. I don't know why that came up. This is what I'm going to be talking about.
Oh,
This is
it's lovely. It's
that's
really
neuro.
lovely.
That's the first one I ever did.
And you did it with markers?
I did it with markers. You started with
Nice.
a black outline. I explained the whole process. But what was really cool is I had this on a stack of papers when I did the drawing. If you yeah, you can see it. Okay. And then when
It
I
bled.
took it off the stack of papers, I was using alcohol markers and they bled through. So it's like your shadow side.
Yeah, no, but that's cool because that becomes really abstract and you can add something to that. That's lovely.
Mhm. So, and what it's a meditative technique that, and on the back of the sheet, you can't see it now because mine got all dark, but you write, it's kind of like when you're writing intentions. It says, and the one I'm going to show you on Thursday was the day I was starting it. It says to use the first words that flash in your mind. And this is what it looks like if it's just the black network of drawings. This is the
Right.
very
It's
first
even nice
one.
like that.
Oh, I know. And so you can make it into little cards. But each one is to be done. And it was an art technique developed by artists and psychologists to help people learn how to focus and learn how to calm down. And I cannot tell you, I started working on the one yesterday, and the one I just that I'm going to be showing them. I think because I'd gotten a new palette of sparkly paints, like gold and silver, but these are green and blues and stuff. And I
Great.
wanted to work with them, and it taught me a whole lot about their characteristics too. So I'm kind of doing two things at once. But I got into it. Um, yeah. Oh, Melissa Miller's right. If this is true, if you want to get that test, you got to get a doctor to sign off on it.
Hi,
But
Melissa.
hi, Melissa. Hope you're feeling better, kid. Um, but when I started doing that yesterday, I thought I was going to do that and then do a couple of other things. And when I finished the one that I'm going to show you on Thursday, I it was like 4 o'clock. So it was time flew. And then I did walk back in my office about an hour later and realized, okay, now I know how I'm going to get organized. My garage sale behind me is going to get shifted around a little bit.
That's the good thing about living here such a short time is like, I don't have that much stuff. I mean, I want more stuff, but it's,
Well,
makes my
until you know everything about everywhere you're going to be, it's not the best. Yeah, this is a small dose made me bounce off the walls like Roger Rabbit. Yeah, that's what this test will show. It'll say no, 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 no. This one you will counter react to it, And it gives you parameters, and it doesn't say, no, you can never take this. Although I did have a couple that he said, don't ever take that.
Yeah, and well, also
Um,
our bodies change as time moves on too, right?
mhm,
My
mhm.
reaction to coffee is a lot different than it was when I was younger.
And see, here we get the opposite direction. You're in the opposite. Melissa's on the opposite side of this bell curve. She took one antidepressant. She went to sleep for 2
Yeah,
days.
sometimes that's normal. Sometimes people have an opposite reaction to drugs. I mean, that
Mhm.
I hear that all the time.
So if you want to have a little window, this is really the breakthrough in what they call personalized medicine. So I can't read and say you need to do it or anything else. All I can do is tell you that it helped me a lot.
Right. And
It's going to help.
pendulum is personalized medicine.
And
And
yeah, Jeffrey can do it, and he doesn't even have to swab your cheek.
I have like a really long thing goes all the
Through
way.
the Zoom, out the screen, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting silly, and we've gotten to 50 minutes, and unless if someone has a really pertinent question, we're going to give you a minute to get it in, and then Jeffrey and I are going to go on with our day.
Yes.
Okay. This show is not
You have
sponsored.
if you have like personal questions, you can write me. Check
Right.
Right Color. Go check out my So my website, my YouTube, my Instagram is all Ripe Color. Easy.
Right.
And
And he
you can
does.
do it and then see if it's for you. And
Mm-hmm.
if it is, it's great. And if it's not, it's great too.
Well, I'm going to be on next Thursday. I try to do my shows on Tuesdays or Thursday. I will be on again, of course, on Sunday with Scott Allen doing political questions. And I'm going to be, and Jeffrey and I do a thing, weekly wanderings, and they go up on Friday and they go up on each of our channels. So if you want to see how do these people read when they're not talking, um, this one, do you have an appointment calendar, Jeffrey?
Yeah, it should be attached to when you go to the website, it all comes through. Like you push on Pendulum and you say buy now or whatever, purchase, it'll it'll give you the thing. Or if you want a tarot reading, same thing. Thank God I attached the calendar. So much easier.
Oh, I noticed, but I was attached. I mean, yours works, so I need to find out more about that. I had one that didn't work, and I just got a bunch of people mad at me.
Now mine is working and I'm really happy. Because I try to get all these people to attach it. They're like, oh, this is really complicated. Oh, it's going to cost you all this money. And then I found a free app and I did it and it worked. It was like,
Okay, Gypsy JJ. No, I'm not selling this stuff. I use it different ways, but it's kind of built up over time, and I came back and then I started painting, so I need to clean up and behind me because it looks like the inside of my mind, and I'm not sure I'd want anyone to read that. And then this woman, you must have seen us. I talked about this on Scott's show, and we had all these people piling on about the test, and I'm bemused. Shaman, get back to me and let me know what you think.
great name.
Oh, and Ann Perry is suggesting acuity scheduling, so I'll have to go do that because.
Yeah, I don't know what mine is called, but it was free and it works.
Oh, good. Well, I trust me. Today I sent out
It
4
was free and it worked. And it was really easy to attach because I'm not very techy.
Yeah.
It's free and it worked. Yay!
Yay! What more could we ask?
It made my life a lot easier because I always get confused with backwards and forwards. I'm always messed up. Always.
And hi, Vicky. I hope you're feeling better. Vicky Howell said hi. Vicky broke a rib or something.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Didn't come to ours. That's why she wasn't there Saturday when we did the gardening class.
Oh,
And all these other conversations of things people have no idea what we're talking about. If you join my channel, you get the opportunity to every other week spend an hour and a half, 2 hours with me and a bunch of other people, and we read in the garden and we try to understand the garden and the nature of the positivity that we're generating from it. So if you join my channel, and it's not much, I forget. I set it up and now I forgot. So
the light of Raphael to you.
Anyway, Vicky, sending you love and light. We all said that at the meeting, and Angela was there. She'll swear to it. So is Cold Toes. So is you were there, and Danny was there. So, okay, thanks. Okay, thanks. That's a good way to end the show. If we don't, we never will.
Yes.
So, I'll talk to you later, everybody. And
Blessings. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you. And thank you for all the questions. And I hope it was really clear. And I'm available.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we go.